Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Righteous Force, Paul Hall, Flatzoid, Chocolate Saiyan, 10th Man and Quantum Eraser. How are you all doing?
Greetings to all.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're also joined by a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome to everyone in the Discord server.
Good morning.
So, whether or not this is successful over the next 2 weeks, as we've got about 10 housekeeping questions, see if we can cover one a day. Now, the most recent, and I put it at the top of the list, is the Black Swan argument. I know I've been discussing that on previous shows last week. I'm happy to start this week's separation of housekeeping questions by addressing just one and then moving on. So we hopefully have about 10 minutes on each subject each day, and then I can trim those out. They'll become specific videos for each of the housekeeping questions. So today we're going to be talking about the physical geometric edge claimed to be our horizon by Sphere Earth believers, and the Black Swan argument that debunks any notion whatsoever that we have a geometric edge. It becomes a geometric impossibility. And a la the Karl Popper example with the Black Swan, you only need to demonstrate that it's not physical once to debunk all notions that it is ever physical. It can't be not actual on one day and then a physical sphere edge another. So, any progress from anybody on the panel or in Discord with regards to any rebuttal whatsoever for the Black Swan argument which debunks the geometrical physical edge of a sphere, which we don't live on. Anybody at all?
Yeah. Actually, I have something.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Arwin. Hey, by the way.
I've always claiming that optics is not scientific.
I don't know if you would call optics scientific. There's no cause and effect being established when you talk about optics, right?
Yeah, but
Hold
you can
up.
still.
Did anybody at any point call this evidence scientific?
No?
I don't remember doing so.
No, nobody has.
So, yeah.
But wait, hold on. Isn't it basically cause and effect related?
What's the
There's a certain
phenomenon? You tell
cause,
us.
It can
What's the
be
phenomenon?
isolated, and then the effect is the certain visual. Isn't that?
There's certain visual. Do you tell us? Let's establish whether or not we have phenomena on our hands. For example, a clock in the distance.
No. The clock itself, no. But if it was very, very far away, then it might be like subjected to some kind of, well, miraging effect, some kind of odd displacement. And that effect, that visual displacement would then be the effect.
Perfect. Yes. So you could say that if you had some sort of distorted effect on that lighthouse, that clock tower, you could say there's a phenomena. Obviously, we don't have wibbly-wobbly clock towers, and I want to establish the cause of the wibbly-wobbly effect.
Yes.
Correct? Right, that would be a phenomena, and you're trying to find out the cause of that effect that you're describing. However, when we see a clock tower in the distance, we just see it. But if you're a fundamentalist religious zealot with a globe belief, that's not a clock tower you're seeing in the distance. It's a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena holographic projection of a clock tower from behind the reified Earth curve edge based on a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculator. Therefore, according to a model, it is a phenomena because the model says it's not there. Well, when a model says something's not there, it automatically, if you're a globehead, becomes phenomena, even though it's just a clock we see, not a phenomena. But to them it is. That's why we charge them with giving us... Hold on, I'm nearly there. That's why we charge them with giving us any scientific evidence in certain regards, because they claim things like clock towers we just see are phenomena, apparently.
Yeah.
Why is the bottom missing? They'll assert a causal relationship. Again, something absolutely in the realms of science. What caused the bottom to be disappeared? Well, they'll say Earth curve got in the way. The physical edge blocked that clock tower. That's what they'll say. Well, that's a cause and effect relationship. Again, well in the realms of science.
Now validated.
Have they actually tested it? It still requires the actual very manipulating of the phenomena or the effect, right?
No, the cause. No. Not a manipulation of the phenomena. You're trying to cause the phenomena by varying what you presume causes it in an isolated scenario.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly. So the ballers don't exactly establish their R-based refraction to actually function as they claim it does. Well, a real
that means it's not
optics-based information
science.
can be tested in experiments.
They didn't vary their cause, their independent variable, because it's a non sequitur. That means it's not science.
Precisely.
That's the point.
Yes. They're claiming a cause. Have they validated it through systematic experimentation based on hypothesis? No. They've decided they have a phenomena they need to explain based on their model saying something should or shouldn't be there. And then they go forth to tell you what causes the phenomena they conjured because a model said something should or shouldn't be there. That's not science. But they claim it is. They say the whole body of science proves we're on a sphere. They've said it for years. So that's why we ask them for science.
And now they're trying to put it on us, saying this observation is not science. That's adorable.
Thanks. We already knew.
Yeah, we
Well, here,
understand
let me
what
ask-
science is.
Well, let me ask the question. I mean, I know you said wiggly lines, but let's say I'm out here watching the horizon. One day it seems like the object is kind of at eye level. Another day it seems to be kind of slightly behind something. That would technically be a phenomenon, because one day it's one thing and another day it's another thing, correct?
Yeah, it's called weather phenomena.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. You could claim you've got yourself a dependent variable. It's dependent on stuff, and it varies, and it's happening naturally. So yeah, you've got
Well,
step one.
Well, you'd be asking, well, why is it looking this way one day and looking like this another day? Now you could say it's weather, but there could be other factors. So you'd have to manipulate those factors to determine what's causing the
No,
thing
you'd
to
have to
change.
control. You'd have to control each factor and then pick one and vary it. That's what you'd have to do.
That's basically what I'm saying. I'm just probably saying it wrong, but yeah.
Yep.
But you're already whistling past the graveyard by asking the question. Why does it move? Oh, right. Well, by asking that question, you've already come to the conclusion that it's not a physical place, a geometric horizon. So, what? Geometric physical horizons can vary? No. They're physical. Should be set in stone. They tell us that that's what we're living on, a geometric sphere.
But remember, it can be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the geometric horizon. If it's before that, who really cares? You could assign any number of causes to that. Who really cares? But it can be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's their geometric horizon. That's the kill shot. Focus.
Nathan, when did you first start believing in flat Earth? When? Like
mean
5 years
believing?
ago, or when was that?
There is no belief involved. We're told we live on a sphere. The Earth is
Yeah, or-
obviously...
yeah,
I'm not allowed to
mhm.
answer your question.
But I'm sure
Maybe
you,
answer for me. I know.
once,
Maybe answer
when
for me.
you were a
Answer
child,
for me.
were
I know.
told to-
You answer for me, even though I was middle of answering your question directed at me. You answer for me. Go ahead. No? Maybe I can answer the
Maybe-
question you've asked me now without you talking through me. Is that a possibility? Am I not allowed
Yes,
to
that
answer
is.
your questions directed at me? Maybe you should be answering the questions directed at me. Is that reasonable? So when did
no,
I
I need
start?
to
So
answer.
I'm going to try and answer again, and you're going to start talking again. You've asked me by name, a question that I'd like to actually answer without you interrupting me. Is that possible?
Okay. Yes. Please don't get angry so fast.
Well, don't talk over me so fast. Shut your mouth and I won't get angry. Like you're doing now. Shut up and I won't get angry with you, stupid man. I'll get angry because you ask me something and then don't let me answer. That's going to piss me right off. Immediately. So shut up. You're talking now. You're still too dumb to understand that that's going to piss me off. Yeah, shut up. So, there is no belief required. A point conceded on both sides of this argument. Neil deGrasse Tyson as one example. That stuff is flat from 120,000 feet. Now, unless you're telling me that you as a mere mortal can get higher than where he, your priest, declares that the heliocentric religion and its mathematics would suggest that you cannot see any curvature from the highest of high altitudes we the public can attain. Therefore, that stuff is flat according to a heliocentric priest. Now, obviously and observably flat would be the way I'd describe it. So your side says it's flat, my side says it's flat, it's obviously and observably flat. Beyond that, we have a religious belief asserted upon us that the horizon is a physical edge of a sphere that will bend as we go up in altitude. That's the reified religion of sphere. That's the belief. No belief required to observe the nature of your own reality. It's flat. I do not require any belief to take in my own environment. Thank you. No belief. Sphere, on the other hand, requires you believe that when you remove all aspects of perspective, the apparent position where the sky seems to meet the ground is actually the edge of an earth curve blocking things in the distance because you've removed all aspects of perspective from your maths. That would be a belief, not flat earth. Hope that answers your question.
But that was not my question.
You got any more questions?
So yeah, Black Swan has a geometric impossibility for a geometric horizon. You, globeheads, require a physical edge to block stuff. So quickly they forget their own arguments that they've had here for 2.5 years. Yeah, you claim that point's blocking stuff. Now denied and claimed to be an apparent location. Shockingly, our argument. Yeah, not an actual location, not a sphere edge, not a sphere. That's just a belief you hold.
Hey, Nathan,
so am I?
You hold on a second, Nathan. You want to put that up? It's in Master B. If you want to post that photo, if you don't have it already, thanks.
Oh yeah, wonderful. That kind of would round out this first day's focus on housekeeping questions. So the housekeeping question in this instance is any evidence of a physical geometric edge, and the rebuttal or response to that is this picture which I'm putting on now, which has been labelled the Black Swan. Because of Karl Popper's example, if you claim that all swans are white, you only need to show one black swan to disprove that statement. In this instance, if you claim we have a geometric physical earth curve edge capable of blocking things in the distance and curving as you raise in altitude, then you only need to show once that it's an apparent position and not a physical location. You don't need anything more than one black swan. That's on screen right now.
I see now what the Black Swan.
I had to mention that Zanuck said that he had 2 black swans the other day.
Yeah, you can have more. You can have more, you just don't need them.
Oh my god.
Just don't need any more than one.
He was like, but I have 2 black swans.
Great. That's lovely.
You only have 1 black swan. I have 2.
No, he has white swans. He thinks they're black, but he's racist.
Yeah, from this point you only have white swans, so you come along and say, today the horizon is slightly in front of these oil platforms. Therefore, it's a geometric edge to a sphere. It's like, well, no, it can't be a geometric physical edge today if tomorrow it's going to be a not actual location. It's only a not actual location, you've only got to show that once. It stops being a geometric horizon from that point onwards. We're not living on a sphere. It's just a belief.
Ballers are whistling
past the black swans.
Ballers are whistling past the graveyard, people. They're talking about all manner of star rotation, equatorial mounts, and open and closed systems. They still don't understand that. You're whistling past the graveyard, crayon munchers, because you know what's looming? The Black Swan, and it's about to take a giant dump on your heads. Thanks.
Is it worth
Am I
ranking
not
through?
able to turn this argument against you? And I say I only need one single proof that the Earth is not a flat disk in space to disprove flat Earth.
Sorry, did you not listen to me in the pre-show when I pointed out that when you asked about government hiding things, I pointed out that you'd gone to the controlled opposition narrative, that would be the Flat Earth Society, who claim we, as a stereotyping fallacy and a baseless assertion, have a model that's floating in space somewhere we debunk. So why are you now using this baseless assertion stereotyping fallacy like we have a model that floats in space, when I've already explained to you that, number one, that's a controlled up narrative from the Flat Earth Society, because presumably you typed Flat Earth in and went to the top Google result, which would be Flat Earth Society, and took what they claimed is our argument. Now you haven't asked us about our argument. We've definitely made clear that we don't believe in space, but now you're telling us that we've got a model floating in space. No, we don't. That's a stereotyping fallacy.
I see.
And just in case you didn't realize, you have no response to the Black Swan. You guys are done. It's wrapped for you guys. There is no response. I understand it might be rough, but you're gonna have to deal with that.
They need a
I
geometric
do have an
horizon.
argument. If
Not an argument. Yeah, it is.
may I
Go ahead.
bring my argument? Yes. Okay, but this might take a little bit over 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
State the argument against you.
So, I can book a flight from Santiago to
State
Chile.
the argument against you.
It's just
Why
about to
should
do
I,
the same thing
state an
third time in a row.
argument
Hold
against-
on. Your argument will be about models and how things work on maps, won't it?
Not quite.
No, not quite. So you're not going to refer to things travelling between one location and another and how far apart they are and how long the flight takes?
Yes.
That would be...
about that, yes.
Sorry, I just need a yes. So this is now the third time I have said this to you.
Time that you tell me, yes, that you tell me that
You seem to be
you don't...
interrupting me while I repeat for the third fucking time that we don't have a model. That's not
Why
what
is
we
that?
do here. So you want to ask us about the Flat Earth Society model and what it does with flight times, perchance? Third time, mate. I've told you. That's not our model. We don't have models. It's a reification fallacy. Now, I appreciate that you want to burn a straw man stereotyping fallacy in the form of this Flat Earth model and how it works with flight times. No. Have we claimed that's our model? Or is it just what you're deciding is our model based on your very rudimentary Google search of this topic?
Rude.
Sorry, you're going to respond? Third time I've told you we don't have models. We don't
Why is
reify
that?
models into
Everyone
our
can have a
world.
model.
And you want to ask us about flight times on the Flat Earth model that the Flat Earth Society gave you, correct?
Yes, the Flat Earth Society.
Yeah, not us.
Scroll up.
Yeah,
the
you
chat.
wouldn't- you wouldn't- the wrong
Sorry,
place for
why
that.
are you arguing that with why are you arguing that with the Flat Earth Society? Stereotyping fallacy, straw man model that we don't hold up. So you can burn it on their behalf. Go and ask them.
So you are not the Flat Earth Society.
Does it say fucking Flat Earth Society above the door? Hello?
That's,
Where does it say
Science
Flat Earth
versus
Society
further
anywhere? In my
science.
info box, in my title, in my description, in my comments, in my actual channel name? Does it in any way suggest I'm in any way associated with the Flat Earth Society? At all? Or is it just a baseless stereotyping fallacy and a straw man model they've given you to burn here as an effigy you claim we hold up as a stereotyping fallacy? About the fourth time I've said that. Yeah, Flat Earth Society have got their shite and nonsense. We've got an argument about the Black Swan. It's on screen for the audience. It was here when you were here on Friday. Now,
Oh, yeah, I
have
have
you
an
looked into
argument
this
against
while you
this
talk through
picture.
the devastating claim that's actually being made, not Flat Earth Society strawmen? Yeah, you're going to talk through me? Yeah, we've got a claim. It's nothing to do with models that the Flat Earth Society, not us, have offered you to
Look
burn.
in Discord.
It's this. Stop talking through me, you dumbo. This is what you need to address.
Stop screaming at me.
Well, then stop talking while I am. We're not asking you to burn a straw man giving you to by someone else. That's unreasonable. It's a logical fallacy. And while I point that out, you talk over me. I'm asking you to actually address the argument of the black swan with a geometric impossibility for a horizon that's geometric. Now, that's our argument. Nothing to do with models and maps and flight times and stereotyping fallacies that I've pointed out to you. This is our argument. Can you address that?
Nathan, we may have a potential problem here. You said, how old are you?
14.
Did you read the rules on this forum, on this server, when you joined?
No, where are the rules? How do rules
Yeah,
and
that's a
channels,
no.
do you mean this?
That's a no.
There is an age limit on this server, and it's 18.
In which
out.
channel does it say
Kick
this?
him out. He can't even
In
read
this
rules.
server.
He can't even read rules. You're allowed on
In
YouTube.
this
In the
server.
rules?
Yeah, you're
How
allowed to
do rules
watch,
and channels-
Dumbo. Shut up. You're allowed to watch on YouTube. But there's rules. Yeah, rules that you want to break or ignore completely. So sod off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You said you're 14 years old. You cannot be in this server.
On the
unless
server,
you're
well then,
18 years
I
of
will
age.
leave. This does not bring anything, I guess.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Sorry about that.
No, perfectly entitled to kick him out. Not my server. Not my rules. He's welcome to be on YouTube. Anyway, we'd like the actual argument addressing, not some straw man from one single search on Google. This is the argument. The black swan, a geometric impossibility if we have an Earth curve that's supposed to be geometric. You can't have this picture. And as soon as you have this picture, you no longer have a geometric edge on any day. They're all white swans, and not one single white swan will prove all swans are white when we've already showed you one's black.
There is no white swan.
No, that's a Sean Hawkins argument because he didn't even understand the Karl Popper analogy. So that took a little bit longer than expected, but I think we got the summary of the first question in housekeeping. Tomorrow we'll cover any evidence of Earth curvature.
So basically the same argument.
Well, no, Earth curvature is slightly subtly different. This is specifically about the geometric edge. Earth curve, they can offer up any form they like.
Suggestion, Nathan. It would help if you're going to trim this out to put uninterrupted QE's modus tollens in advance of what you're going to put, just so everyone could see the context before
Yeah,
all
I've got
the
it.
talking.
It's on screen now. If P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 59 miles? Very small on my screen. P, then the horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That would be Q. That is what gives you your physical geometric horizon. Physical. That's where you get your curve calculations. Conclusion. Not Q. So, not a horizon that's 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Not Q, therefore not a sphere. Simple.
So what would happen? What would happen if you had to change the math data, like the radius?
Can't change the radius. That's the physicality of the sphere they have us believe we live on. So what, you're going to just, stick a pump in the Earth and blow it up a bit? No.
But you can change a model how you want.
Well, yeah, you can claim that the physicality of the model they've led us to believe we're living on is now going to get a bit bigger. Yeah, you can do that. It's absurd. It also messes up a lot of the calculations that were initially back-engineered to give them the sphere. They no longer work when you change the R value. Not only that, the claim that they're making in regards to their nonsensical looming of the horizon above the horizon starts with the R value. So when Zanuck came here and defended this, he said, well, we've got an apparent R. So we take the R value to claim we've got an obstruction. Then we bring things back from beyond the R value using 7/6 all the way up the scale to more than, shout out to Ruhif, infinite over 6R. And along that journey, we're just going to be bending everything out, ignoring the fact that the horizon is still not part of that explanation. But when we get to the point where it breaks, we'll say, well, now we're going to increase the R the mathematics to do this started with. Well, no, that breaks the mathematics entirely. You can't then change the value that you're suggesting things are being blocked by to increase it with an apparent value. That's essentially just a convoluted, long-winded version of a concession, saying the horizon's not actual. It's apparent. And we'll today change it and qualify that with an apparent R value? What, an apparent physicality to the Earth? No. So there it is. Modus tollens. Take it, use it, smash globers with it.
Nathan, they either accept the Earth as a plane, and the black swan, obviously, very simple, or they have to change the R value, which if you have the observer height at 1 foot and the oil platform, say, at 10 miles, that would make the Earth radius grow from 3,959 to 264,230 miles. So I think it's a lot easier to just accept the Earth as a plane.
Or accept it's not a geometric. I mean, when you do that, you're saying, no, we'll still accept that it's a geometric horizon. It's still the physical edge of an Earth sphere as asserted by the Bull religious. Well, at that point, you're saying, well, no, it's still a physical geometric edge to the surface of a sphere, but it's just a much, much bigger physical surface to the sphere on this day because the weather changed. So essentially, that's the way that boils down is the ball grew on that day. You have to change the physicality. It's no longer looming light around the sphere. If the sphere edge has moved, it's become a bigger sphere in physical terms. So how absurd is that when you express it in the way I have? So on that day, the physical sphere was much, 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 much bigger. It'll shrink back down. It'll lose all that weight again tomorrow.
So Zanuck was wrong in saying actual and not actual is the same thing.
As soon as they say, well, on that day, the horizon wasn't actual, that's black swan. Well, not all swans are white then. Not all horizons are geometric then. Well, if not all horizons are geometric, that's the end of the statement. Not all horizons are geometric. What? How can you then make that make logical sense for a ball? But today it is. Today, because it matches our model, it's geometric today. Yeah, okay. You can say that, but it makes no logical sense. Shout out to Logan's Run for the super chat. Black Swan, it's over. Globetards. Right on. So is there any actual rebuttals to this? Because that's what, I've got enough to trim out for the simplified version of the proof that's probably 10 or 15 minutes, but is there actually any rebuttals? In the pre-show I was telling, I can't remember, John, I think, the QE, about my little search through YouTube to try and find some responses to this, which lend itself to a lot of wasting of time in comments I probably shouldn't be wasting my time with, but nevertheless, that aside, I haven't found anything. Has anybody else found any actual responses to this?
No, we've had at least 4 dedicated shows concerning the Black Swan, including 2 Ballbusters and a Tuesday Collector's Edition, and they're not responding. They have no answer.
Yeah, covered it on the debate for the last 10 days, put a new housekeeping question in as a result. It's literally nothing. I mean, it's the only other housekeeping question that compares to this in terms of the total lack of response is the Molten Iron Core. No, in fact, that's even got some response, P waves and S waves. So yeah, this is the top of the pile in terms of total lack of any address to it.
Well, I might say they did address it, but they took our argument to address it. They agreed with us.
That's not addressing it. That's conceding. Oh well, the horizon's not actual. Yeah, that's our argument. We win. That's not an address.
That's the only way they can, is to concede and pretend they didn't.
Yeah, as soon as they say the horizon's looming above the horizon, non sequitur, ridiculous. But when they say the horizon's looming, it's like, well, it's not geometric then. We win.
An apparent position looming above an apparent position. Yeah.
So they can do what Rumpus is doing in the chat now, which is distract away from the question, which is specific and been on screen many times, and about the horizon. So there's the modus tollens, and if you read what Rumpus has put, the oil platform has been explained. Learn to read, Rumpus. Learn to read, because the modus tollens doesn't have anything referencing the oil platforms. It's all about the horizon. So clearly you can't read.
Yeah, there was a Glover in Discord asking me about the oil rigs. I said the argument isn't about the oil rigs. That's not the argument.
Won't even respond to questions about the oil rigs. You could talk about the oil rigs all day. That's not our argument. The hell are we talking about that for?
Because Rumpus is arguing in the Matrix, all he sees is the oil rigs.
Well, and the matrix are there just for reference points to show you distance. That
I'll
is
call him
all
on it. Hold
correct,
on.
QE.
I'll call him on it. Rumpus. If there's no gaps, I'll make a gap. You can explain it to us. It says, and the horizon has been explained as well. My understanding was you said that because it didn't match your model, it was the matrix. So maybe you want to join the show and explain how your former explanation of it being the matrix, because it doesn't match a computer-generated sphere model when you're comparing a photo of reality. You can come on and explain that to us. Feel free. Maybe I didn't understand his matrix explanation. Anybody else?
Come on, Rumpus.
Hold on. Anybody else catch his matrix explanation for the horizon?
No. I
I
missed
did.
out. I heard some rumors, but what was it?
I got it.
Yeah.
Doc,
He
you wanna
says,
do it?
Discord is full, you'll never understand anything. That's okay, I can move somebody. There's been plenty of people that can be moved, no problem.
People can also ask me to move them up in the live stream.
That's alright, there's been a few people that haven't said a word the whole time they've been here, I'll just move them.
I was going to move myself, but you already moved me.
I didn't know who it was. Should be a gap.
He's in.
No, it's
Hey, Rumpus.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Mike's all yours.
Okay, let me just check my levels because you're always complaining about the levels I got in here. Let's just up them a little bit. Okay.
Very quiet, Rumpus.
Am I? Okay, I'll turn it up again.
Try again, mic check.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Good enough.
3. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the Discord fiddles with my values, my microphone levels. Right, okay. Right. Okay. Yes, if you understood what looming was, you would understand that the horizon is also moved by looming. And what's more, we're not talking about the geometric horizon. I've explained to you over years and years and years that we see things as a result of light.
Define looming.
I've been... Hold on, shut up, you. Shut up.
Define looming.
Shut up,
my
idiot.
argument. You
shut up.
No,
Shut up. Shut up.
Shut you up.
No, I've just muted him. So hopefully you can hear me, Rumpus. We would like a definition of looming, if that's your explanation, please.
Right. I've been explaining refraction to you for years, so we've not talked about the geometric horizon.
Define looming.
Let's just stick him on mute again. I don't mind shutting you up with the mute button every single time because you're unreasonable. You said the word looming and told us we don't understand it. You are using it. If you claim we don't understand it, we'd like it defining, please. Go.
Right, so you don't understand looming, you don't understand refraction. You claim...
Yeah, we've heard that. I don't need you to tell me why I don't understand. I've just conceded that. You don't need to repeat it. If you claim we don't understand what looming is, I'd like you, who are claiming looming, to define it. Go.
Right, you don't understand looming, and you don't
just
understand...
do it again. I've just conceded that if you believe we do not understand it, I would like you to define it. I'm not going to do this 20 times. I'm going to take you off mute, and you can either take your opportunity to explain what you have claimed, which is looming, with a definition and a citation, or not, and continue to tell me I don't understand when I'm saying I will concede you believe I don't understand, therefore you need to define it. Go.
I'll do the things in order I wish to do them in. For start, you're claiming about geometric horizon.
I'm not claiming
We're
anything.
not
Let's
making
just
any
point out he's
claims.
obfuscating. He'll do them in whatever order he likes. He's already done them. He's told us looming. Now he just doesn't want to define what he's claimed. So you've already done it. It's not an order that you've chosen. You've already done that. Now we're asking you to define it, and you're choosing not to. I'm just going to point out to the audience, I'm giving him an opportunity now to define what he has claimed. Go.
I will do it in the order I wish to define it.
You've already done it.
Geometric horizon, which is the thing that you're measuring, is not something we ever refer to.
I'm not measuring a geometric horizon. Every time he misquotes or misrepresents me, I'll point out that I'm not measuring a geometric horizon. That's a misrepresentation. You are. You have a geometric horizon. I do not. That's a misrepresentation. So I will mute you and tell the audience that I am muting you because you have misrepresented me. I am not measuring any geometric horizon. That is what you are doing. So what is
I've
looming?
never claimed. We use the apparent horizon. You claim that we use...
No, you don't use the apparent horizon. You use the geometric horizon. That's the basis of your religion. That's another misrepresentation. We argue that the horizon is apparent. You argue that it's geometric. Now you seem to be arguing that it's apparent, which would be our argument. That didn't take very long. That didn't take very long at all for you to tell us that the horizon's not a physical location, it's an apparent location. Unfortunately, Rumpus, apparent locations don't block the bottoms of boats and buildings.
Yes, they
Nathan,
do.
ask
You
him
don't
straight
understand.
up
We've
what causes
always...
Sorry,
the
he's
boats
just
to
said,
disappear.
Paul, hold on. We'll take it one word at a time from Rumpus. I don't mind doing it in this way. So, according to Rumpus, not actual things can obscure actual things. Well, that's not geometry. Don't you understand geometry?
You have misrepresented our position.
You don't seem to understand what geometry is. You don't understand geometry, Rumpus.
You're frightened of my answers, aren't you? You can't cope with them. You have to mute me. You have to mute me.
So this is an obfuscation
We're still waiting
technique.
on the
Hold on,
definition
guys. I'm going to point out every
and a
time he does
citation.
something like this. I've asked him to define looming. He has failed to do so. What he has done is misrepresent my position and told me that I'm measuring a geometric horizon. Then he's told me that it's apparent. If it's apparent, it's not geometric, and I'm pointing out that you don't understand geometry, Rumpus. Not that I'm scared. You don't understand geometry.
You're scared. You will not let me finish the sentence.
That's the same response. Same response. He doesn't understand his own geometric religion of a sphere. That's clear, because you can't measure not actual locations with geometry. You do not understand your own sphere religion geometry. Not scared, pointing out you don't understand geometry.
You're frightened, aren't you, Nathan?
That's the only response he's got. I'm not frightened. I'm pointing out that you don't understand the physical geometry of your own religion, because you've now declared that it's an apparent location. Apparent locations don't have physical geometry. You don't understand what geometry is.
It's obvious to everyone. You won't let me answer, and you're scared of my answers. Very
Real
obvious.
quick,
Here we go.
let me ask you a question.
Hold on. I will answer in the way I wish to. You have claimed that we think that the geometric horizon is the thing you can
Define
see.
looming and provide.
I would do that. I would be more than happy
Define
to.
looming
I would do things in
and
the order.
provide
Can you do it
citation.
without a
you're frightened of
20-minute
what I'm saying,
presentation in between?
I know you're
Rumpus? Can you
frightened.
actually get
I know
to it
you're frightened, but
I'm
you haven't
tired of
let
your
me-
shit. You're gonna get kicked out.
Yeah, it's just, all he's saying is, I know you're frightened, over and over again, so that nobody can hear the fact that it's being pointed out. His explanation was declared immediately. Looming. And he's yet to define it, and his excuse is I'll do it in whatever order I like, while he misrepresents us and tells us we're frightened when we point out that he requires a geometric horizon. And he's just admitted it's apparent. That's not something capable of geometric measurement then. Either he doesn't understand geometry, or needs to say we're scared of the fact we're pummeling his religion.
The apparent horizon can be worked out geometrically. That's what you don't understand.
Darwin, shut up. All we hear is responses.
We are the one who've always referred to an apparent horizon, and you can work it out using geometry.
Sorry, you work out a geometric location physically when it's not actual. It seems, again, you don't seem to understand what geometry is, Rumpus. Why is that? Why is it that every time I point that out, your rumpusing starts? I don't really understand why that happens.
You don't like me getting a whole sentence out, do you? Here we go.
No,
See,
I
you don't like it. You don't. You want to
window liquor is what you are.
Let's try again. Let's see. Hold on. For the audience, if you're a globehead, at this point, apparently there's a rebuttal to the Black Swan, and that rebuttal has been given. It's looming. And don't you, the globeheads, want to know how looming explains the Black Swan? Wouldn't you like to know what looming is? Because apparently we haven't told you, but Rumpus doesn't seem to want to. He wants to do it in a different order that doesn't involve defining looming. Interesting. But obviously that's me terrified.
I'm more than happy to talk about looming. First of all, I want to sort out your problems with the geometric horizon.
Are you scared to define
looming?
It? Let's just do it. Let's just do his trick. Let's do his trick. Hold on, guys.
Do it now.
Guys, let's just do his trick. Are you scared to define looming, Rumpus?
No, I want to just describe things in the sentence order I wish to.
That was a very high-pitched
So
response.
just define it, because now you're starting to sound scared.
Yeah.
Because we've asked you to define it for
geometric
about
horizon,
15
that's
minutes
nothing
now.
that we have ever claimed is something you can see.
Geometric horizon.
Sorry. What's blocking
Seems
the
like
bottom of
Rumpus
boats
was
if
a
it's
bit
not a geometric
projecting about the
horizon?
scare.
Oh, God, this is difficult enough. Guys, when Rumpus is here, you getting triggered by him creates more of a disturbance. That's his point. So, the fundies on your side would like to know what looming is, Rumpus. Are you scared to define it?
Right, so the geometric horizon is something that you claim that we're obsessed with. We're not at all. We have always talked about the apparent horizon, how it's loomed up. So, when you...
No, you haven't. That's not what looming is. You've talked about buildings being loomed up from beyond the Earth curve edge, beyond the curve of the Earth, from where it's obstructed geometrically. You've never claimed the horizon is apparent, you've claimed it's geometric. I've got hundreds of examples.
Nathan, you heard what he said, Nathan?
Do you remember how
He
I
claims
said
that they
everything was
always
loomed up,
talk about the
including
apparent
the
horizon.
lighthouse, including the island, including the horizon, but you don't...
No, not including the horizon. Maybe you can go and get me a citation where you've said that. Go and get that.
Any of the discussions we had about the Isle of Man...
No, not any of the discussions. It's your claim. I call bullshit. Now prove your claim. Prove you've said the horizon's looming, and then define looming.
I've always said it, Nathan.
That's not proving it. Saying I've always said it. Give me a show number and a timestamp.
No, I can't be bothered.
Oh, well then you're not... That's a baseless assertion fallacy. So you can't be bothered to back your claim? Well then it's just disregarded out of hand then. Yeah?
Not just that, it's also a double-think lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. I know it's a lie, Arwen. He's never claimed that. He's claimed that it's a physical obstruction blocking the bottom of the Isle of Man.
Yes, it is obstruction, but it's also...
Guys in the bloody hangout! Guys in the hangout!
And you forgot me.
Guys in the hangout! Shut up!
I have always said the horizon's loomed up, like everything is. Everything is loomed up.
And what's looming? That's all right. So define looming so we know what that is. What does that mean exactly?
Looming is the raising up due to the curvature of light rays above the position they would be geometrically. It's very simple.
Wrong.
No,
wrong.
you're wrong.
Citation, please.
That is wrong.
Go and look at the Andrew Young website. That
Wrong.
will,
I've already got it right here.
Okay.
You're an idiot then. You're trying to...
Rumpus, guys in the hangout, do you not realise how much harder you're making this? Thank you. Rumpus, citation, please. Not source. Not Andrew Young website. Not wiki. A citation, please.
Andrew Young is an established scientist, so anything...
Sorry, I didn't ask for a fucking resume. I asked for a citation. Not how good he is, not where his website is as an entire source. It seems, I'm going to declare it now, Rumpus is scared of giving us a citation for looming.
Well, okay, if you want me to share my screen, but how can I do this on Discord?
Just tell us where on the website it is. Give us a citation.
Well, it's on the Andrew Young, on the one on the looming part that an idiot quantum eraser moron has got. It describes the bending of the light and the cause of looming in that. And if he understood the website, he would understand that everything is lifted up, including the horizon. But he's too stupid to realise this.
Can you stop
He's
with
got
the
his own
ad-homs,
idea what
please? You haven't told us specifically where to go on the Andrew Young website. So if you've got a specific location, we can bring it up ourselves because you're not doing that.
Okay, let's go and get showing you the curve in the razor. If you understood the curvature of the razor, and if you understood, I know you want to override. I know you want to overtalk quantum. I know you don't like me invalidating.
Retard. Nathan, Andrew Thomas Young, the subject matter expert, his definition of looming is in Master B's. Can you read it?
Looming, the appearance above the horizon of a distinct object that would normally be hidden below it. So it would seem that this is in respect to the horizon, Rumpus.
Ouch.
And the horizon's also loomed as
That's not what it says. That's absolutely not what it says. Your citation doesn't back up your argument.
Oh, yes, it does. If you look
Let's
at
just read it again. Looming, the appearance above the horizon. That's not of the horizon. That's above the horizon of a distant object. Not the horizon, Rumpus. An object appearing above the horizon. So, no, this doesn't back the horizon being loomed and being not actual and not geometric, which is absolutely what it's required to be on a sphere. He doesn't back that.
Well, he may not have made that explicit, but it is.
So, you are absolutely incorrect. Hasn't made that explicit means you've pulled it out your ass and cited something that doesn't back it. You're a downright liar. So when you said looming and you were scared to define it, it's because he doesn't make your explanation explicit in the citation. Ergo, you're full of shit and a liar.
He may not have explicitly said it, but...
Yeah, we know. He may not explicitly say that the horizon looms. It doesn't. According to your citation, things move with respect to the horizon. Precisely what you said when all of the shows that you say you didn't say that, you claimed the horizon was geometric and blocking things and obscuring things.
If you look at this diagram and this text, that's exactly...
Sorry, I've looked at the text. I'll read it again. I'm looking at it right now. Looming. From the Andrew Young website you cited. The appearance above the horizon. Well, that's not looming the horizon itself. Are you moronic? Can you not read?
Can you not look at the diagrams?
I've looked at the definition that you cited. It very specifically says the appearance above the horizon. It doesn't say the horizon's being loomed, which is what you claimed. Our argument, Rumpus, which you're too stupid to understand, is about the horizon, not about the appearance of distant objects below or above the horizon. It's the horizon itself. But you're just too stupid to understand that, and seem to think that citing things that say that the looming of the horizon... No, that's not what Andrew Young's saying. You complete moron.
Andrew Young's saying exactly what I'm saying.
So he's saying that the horizon's looming above the horizon, as per your explanation earlier. No, he doesn't say that. As per the Andrew Young website cited by you for an explanation in this regard, your explanation, the moron Rumpus, his explanation, was that the horizon's looming, and he can cite a definition of looming, something he was very scared to answer. Very scared. Tried to distract away from it for quite a long time, didn't he? Telling us we were scared. That's called projection. Look it up. Psychological term. It's when the person themselves is terrified of defining the thing they've claimed explains their answer in a geometric impossibility known as the black swan, and their citation they're scared to go and get actually debunks them. Because according to the Andrew Young website that has been cited by the terrified little man known as the Rumpus, is that the appearance above the horizon of a distinct object that would normally be hidden below it. Well, that's not the horizon looming. That's completely in contrast to what you claimed. No wonder you were scared to go and define it with a citation. Scared because it doesn't back your argument, you pathetic little man.
It backs me up entirely, and you...
It backs you up entirely? Looming, as per the Andrew Young website cited incorrectly by the Rumpus when he claimed the horizon was also looming. It says, looming, the appearance above the horizon of a distant object that would normally be hidden below it. So not the horizon moving, you complete moron. This doesn't back you. No wonder you were so scared.
The horizon is an object, so it is...
Oh, sorry, the horizon's a physical object, is it? So the apparent horizon is now a physical object. That's a contradiction in terms. You're moronic.
It's lifted up. It's a real object, but it's a...
You stutter your way about what it's doing. Yeah, we know what it's doing. It's lifting up. It's not geometric. It's apparent, not physical, not obscuring stuff in the distance, not curving at altitude, not the edge of a sphere. Apparent, that's right, Rumpus. Welcome to Flat Earth.
You see, muting me all the time, Nathan, so you can't get my answers, can you?
I've heard your answer. Guys, chocolate. No, I heard your answer, Rumpus. You said the horizon was looming. Then you said that you wanted to define it in your own special order. We told you were scared of defining it. Then you finally defined it by Andrew Young's words, and it didn't back your argument that the horizon was looming. Now you're saying that your interpretation of the word object that moves respect to the horizon is actually the horizon? No, that doesn't make any logical sense that you would extrapolate that out.
Mute. I see. Right. So
Sorry, is that an appeal to format fallacy? So rather than addressing the fact that the Andrew Young website that he cited, we had to go and look it up. He actually just gave us a full-on reference, and QE had to go and look it up for him because he doesn't understand what a citation is over a reference. Nevertheless, QE did exactly as he claimed, went to the specific part on looming by Andrew Young, and it absolutely did not back your argument that the horizon, something he describes, things, objects, moving with respect to, is actually an object that's moving with respect to the horizon things are moving with respect to. This makes no logical sense. And rather than addressing that, you've said mute. Yeah, that's because I don't want you talking through this devastating part of my argument. Now, are you going to appeal to format when I take you off mute, so you can't talk through me? Are you going to appeal to format, a logical fallacy, or address the fact that your citation doesn't talk about the horizon moving, it talks about things, objects, moving with respect to it?
Mute.
That's another appeal to format fallacy, isn't it now? So I gave him another opportunity to discuss his logical fallacy and his incorrect assertion that the citation says that the horizon's being loomed with respect to the horizon, which makes absolutely no sense. Andrew Young does not say that. He's not stupid like you, man. But you can appeal to format again when I give you an opportunity to speak, that it's the mute button that's the defence to this argument, which it isn't. That's a fallacy.
Mute.
Yeah, it's third time in a row. Appeal to format. Yeah, I'm muting you so you don't get to talk through the devastating argument, as you normally do. We all know that. You claiming appeal to format is just going to appeal to the retards like yourself. You go, yeah, he muted him. Yet you could hear him, audience. Every time you heard him was an opportunity for him to address the fact he claimed looming explains the horizon looming. When Andrew Young, his citation, does not say that. He doesn't say the horizon's moving with respect to the horizon. That's nonsense. Let's see if he appeals to the format again when I give him a chance to address that.
Mute. Andrew.
Yeah. Mute. That's appeal to format fallacy. You're not addressing my argument. You're addressing the fact that when I speak, I don't want you interrupting, so I have to mute you. You don't give me any alternative.
Mute. You see, you've had lots of sentences, Nathan, and I've only had none.
I run the show. Mute is an appeal to format fallacy. You're never going to address your fallacious use of reasoning when addressing your incorrect citation from Andrew Young, and the fact that it doesn't back your argument that the horizon is looming above the horizon, which makes absolutely no sense, and Andrew Young agrees with me.
Mute. Andrew Young agrees with me.
Yeah, he does. He agrees with me that things are moving with respect to the horizon. He's your subject matter expert who believes in a sphere, the one you cited. And he's not saying the horizon looms above the horizon, which was your explanation. He's saying something completely contrary to that. He is saying that objects move with respect to it. That's not the horizon looming above the horizon. You ever going to address that?
Mute. He agrees with me completely, and I will explain this if you give me a chance to do so.
Explain or quote.
When he says, when abnormal refraction, I'm quoting here from him, increases the apparent elevation of distance, often lifting above the horizon, things below. But it doesn't mention
above the horizon. It's not the horizon being loomed. You complete moron. You've just backed my argument and my point.
Yeah, it's entirely backing mine if you let me finish.
Sorry, it's entirely backing yours as your response. A hand wave. No, it's not backing you. It's backing us. It's things moving with respect to the horizon is not your explanation for the black swan, which gives your geometric horizon a massive value. And you're saying it's apparent. And it's only apparent because it can loom with respect to itself. No, that's doublespeak nonsense.
Mute.
Yeah, we need to stop muting him because when he's not here, he's
and he doesn't mention the fact that the horizon is also loomed. But he doesn't mention that, and you can't...
He doesn't mention that.
So then why would you cite him?
Yeah, he doesn't mention that. So it's not backing your argument. maybe appeal to format while I point out that you've just agreed with us. He does not say what you have argued.
Mute.
Yeah, appeal to format fallacy times 5. Yeah, as you've just conceded, he does not say that.
Mute.
Yeah, times 6. He doesn't back your argument that the horizon's looming with respect to the horizon. Appeal to format fallacy is all you can attack.
Mute. He backs me completely.
Based on what?
In this diagram, that if you bother to look at the web page, he would show that things on the horizon are also moved up. The horizon is a physical thing that is changed.
Sorry, things on the horizon are moving above the horizon, but the horizon is also a physical thing moving with respect to the horizon. This is complete doublespeak nonsense.
Things on the horizon are things that are also loomed up. So, for instance, if you had a book...
Things on the horizon aren't the horizon. They're the things that Andrew Young refers to when he uses the words objects. Yeah, that's things on the horizon. That's not the horizon itself.
Minutes and minutes to have your bit, and you've barely given me a sentence.
I don't have to give you jack while you appeal to format continually. Andrew Young makes it clear that it's objects with respect to the horizon. You're reading it out and saying that if you only understood that the objects with respect to the horizon, the horizon also moves. That's what you're saying.
The horizon does also move.
The one part that you want to cite, you just said is not even being said by the guy that you're citing.
And that the horizon is an object. The things that are loomed up on the horizon are objects.
Sorry, things that are loomed up on the horizon are the horizon as an object. That's total double speak.
The horizon consists of objects, you idiot. Like the...
No, the horizon is an arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground, a not actual location that changes with the weather and your altitude and various other things that you can factor in to that not actual location moving. Now, you need it to be a geometrical physical edge of a sphere that blocks things in the distance and seem to be arguing our point that it's a not actual location being loomed. Now, even though the horizon by definition cannot be loomed, things, objects, according to the citation you give us, are loomed with respect to it, you still want to claim that when they define that things move with respect to the horizon, that actually means they're saying the horizon is one of those objects. It isn't. That's doublespeak nonsense.
There is an Australian flat earther who takes videos of the horizon from his conservatory, and the horizon moves up and down due to different looming conditions. You utter moron.
So therefore we win. It's not geometric then.
Not a physical.
Sorry, hold on. Let me just... Guys! For the love of Jesus! So, how do you make a horizon dip measurement to give you your R value then if it's not physical geometric?
It varies a little bit, but you pick on a day when...
That's not what I asked. I asked how you get your R value from a horizon dip measurement if it's not physical.
The horizon is the apparent horizon is based on the geometry of the Earth. It's related to it.
No, sorry. I asked how you get your geometric measurement of a radius value if it's not physical, because the claim is that the radius represents the physicality of the sphere that we live on. How are you getting a horizon dip measurement if it's not actual?
It's close to it.
Close to what? If it's not physical and you're getting the R value from the horizon dip, what you're saying is you're getting a close value to the not actual radius value from a not actual location you extract the R value from.
It gives you a reasonable value. It's not exact. There are other ways of getting the radius that are better, but it's one good way of getting an approximate value for the radius. And the apparent horizon is close to the geometric horizon on most refractive conditions. On those oil rigs, in the one that you keep on citing as the black swan argument, those are very unusual refraction conditions where the rays of light are almost curving at the same radius as the Earth, and that gives the impression the radius is flat and then moves the horizon very much further back.
I don't understand that. Sorry, that's something I don't understand. The radius is flat. You don't have flat radius. Something that's flat doesn't have a radius. What are you talking about? Flat radius? That's nonsense.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it was. You idiot. You didn't.
You said that gives you a flat radius. Those were your exact words.
The curvature, the view, right, let's try again. The curvature of the rays on unusual conditions, i.e. the conditions that you've got for that black swan oil rig, The rays are what are called circulating. That means they follow the curvature of the Earth because of the unusual refractive conditions, such that the Earth would appear flat. This is a very normal circumstance. The horizon moves up and down as documented by a flat earther in Sydney looking out. So your claim that the horizon doesn't move is utter idiocy. We have got video documented movement horizon due to looming. And
we understand that, but that would mean that it's not a physical geometric sphere edge then.
It is a form of it's a representation of the geometric edge.
A geometrical edge is physical.
Yes, it is. And
well, this is not that. So it's definitely not a representation of a physical edge because it's not physical in any way. It's apparent.
Everything we see in light is apparent.
Sorry. No, not if you're measuring it and claiming it's got geometry and is the edge of a sphere. It's not.
All light is apparent.
We've heard that 3 times, you stuttering, stammering fool.
Yeah, I have to explain some things to an idiot.
No, you're not going to ad hom your way out of this, you stupid dick. No, you're claiming Earth has a physical geometry. We're back to this. You don't understand geometry.
Yes, it has a physical geometry.
No, it doesn't. You've just said that the curve of the Earth curve edge, is apparent. So no, it doesn't have geometry. Is the apparent horizon apparent or physical? Which one is it?
The apparent horizon is based on the geometry, you moron.
It can't be based on the geometry if you're getting that geometry based on an R value. That's circle jerking. It's called the do-si-do of begging the question.
Well, you're an idiot. You don't understand.
Sorry, that's an ad hom. Oh, you seem very scared to address my rebuttal.
You don't have a rebuttal.
So I've just given it you. You've just said the horizon is physical. And then I've said, is it apparent then? Because you're saying it moves with the day according to a flat earther that you're now citing, because you take the evidence of flat earthers very seriously and understand that they're all true and that's the best cited sources you can get, because Andrew Young, a globe earther, didn't back you, but this flat earther does. So that's all very well and good. And when you cite this flat earther for demonstrating that the horizon is not a physical edge of the sphere, it's apparent, then it doesn't have geometry. It's not an actual location. Don't you understand geometry?
Right. Let's try this. Let's imagine you're an ant or some small animal on top of a basketball.
Well, that would be assuming that we're on a ball already with your example. I'm not trying to get to the conclusion where we start with us being on a ball. That's called begging the question. I just explained that. Do-si-do banjo of begging the question, and you want to start on a ball? What? Yeah, beg the question. Don't piss in my face, little man. Don't say, let's start our example on a ball. That's begging the question.
Right, I'm demonstrating a principle to you, and see if
I don't want you to demonstrate a principle. I'm trying to get an answer. Is the horizon the physical edge of a sphere, or is it apparent? Which one is it? It can't be both.
Everything, the result of it being communicated to us via light, is apparent, of course.
So then it's not the physical geometry of a sphere, then?
It represents the geometry. It's
no, it doesn't. It can't represent physicality. It's either physical or it isn't, you stupid little man.
The light that comes to us isn't physical.
Stop babbling about the light that comes to us. We're talking about the physical edge of your sphere belief. It's either a physical geometric edge, or, as you seem to be arguing now, it's apparent. Aren't you supposed to be the one arguing it for it being physical and geometric?
I've always said it's apparent, you twat. You've never listened.
So it's always been apparent. So it's not a geometric sphere edge then. So not a sphere, not geometric.
It's based on the geometry.
No, it's not based on physicality. It's not physical.
Nothing we see is physical, you twat.
Yeah, everything I see is physical. I'm holding physical stuff now. I'm tapping on my physical mic.
We see things via light.
Don't rumpus me, you little shit. Don't rumpus me. It's either physical and the geometric edge of a sphere, or, as you are arguing, our point, it's not the physical edge of a sphere. It's apparent, not physical, not geometric, not the edge of a sphere. Apparent. Yeah, thanks, you agree.
Apparent horizon is based on the light that we receive, and that is a function of the geometry of the Earth.
What? When you beg the question that Earth's a sphere, the geometry of the R value is what gives you a sphere edge, but that sphere edge it gives you and is based on is an apparent edge, not physical.
All light means that we...
You keep saying about all light and what it does. Talking about geometry. Don't you understand geometry?
Don't you understand we have to see things via light?
Sorry, we're talking about geometry. I don't need to see anything to do geometry. Yeah, you moron. You don't understand mathematics.
We see things...
Sorry, I'm talking about geometry. He's clearly totally inept when it comes to geometry. I'm not looking at anything. We're
see
doing a bit of
things
geometry.
via light,
Talking about
and
geometry.
because of that, whatever geometry.
Talking about geometry. Why is he talking about optics? We're the ones that argue optics. Yeah? Vanishing point for a horizon. That's optics. You argue geometry. This is a very weird scenario. I'm having to point out to him that his sphere edge is supposed to have geometry, but he's arguing for optics.
It does both, you moron. There are two.
He's ad homing me with moron. Does both. So is the horizon both physical with geometry and not actual apparent optical? It can't be both.
Its position is dependent on both, you moron.
So it can't be both physical and not actual. It's either one or the other.
The light, everything we see through our light is apparent, virtual.
Sorry, so is... Yeah, I know. He's dancing around in circles. It's great. I love this proof, Guri. It's the best example ever. So do we have...
Yeah.
I'm asking a funder who believes in a globe if we've got a globe edge. And he's saying, no, it's apparent. That's his argument. It's great.
Yep.
It's very simple. There are two factors. One is the geometry of the Earth, and the second thing is there's light that takes us to it, that we see via. It's two factors. Why can't you understand that? It's very simple.
Yeah, he's now arguing for our apparent horizon. That's what he's doing. So we have an apparent horizon then. So just so you know, Rumpus agrees. He's been arguing it forever, according to him. We have a not actual sphere edge for a horizon. That's what our Rumpus, the good chap that he is, welcome to Flat Earth Rumpus, is now arguing. We do not have a geometric sphere edge for a horizon. It's apparent, and he's always known it, apparently. So there we go. Good to know that Rumpus also appreciates that it's not a geometric sphere edge. Good to know. And with that, I'll say if you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, then this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I believe someone actually smashed the super chat right at the end, so let's just see who that was. Give them a quick shout out, and then I'll say once again to stay tuned if you're watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, as there will be an after show to follow. So, Alexander, the black swan photo is the black hole for the heliocentric model. It will swallow. I can't read the rest of that. If there's any more, my bad. But yes, once again, stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley channel. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!